You know, we live in a global economy, and the only thing that can pull us together, it's not technology, ladies and gentlemen, it's communication. Thanks for joining me here on WOWBIZ Weekly. I'm Lynn Hinderaker. This is Omaha, Nebraska's only local business news magazine podcast. We tape with the assistance, produce this whole show with the assistance of Creighton University and their great College of Business Administration, including Dean Tony Hendrickson. Terrific job. Creighton University's helping us out a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Creighton, yeah. There we are. There we are. That wasn't a prompt. Anyway, so here we go with a very interesting conversation about the international business concept. It seems to be slightly less popular today than it was 5 years ago, but the notion of communication, reaching out, extending, touching minds and hearts at an international level, many of the students that are in the audience today are probably thinking about, should I specialize in international studies? Can I really connect with people in Europe or China, which is a huge growing market, or India, for instance? So we're going to talk today about with a very special guy. He's become a friend of mine recently. Actually hosts a talk radio show on KOIL, the mighty 1290 here in Omaha, Nebraska. But as I said before, he does have a background in international business. Please welcome my new friend, Mr. Clinton Bellows, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Finally got you here, bud.
Pleasure to be here.
Good to see you,
Thank
Clint.
you.
Please sit down. It's great to have you here. You know, you have an incredible career, background in politics, spent a lot of time with the Republican Party in California, doing a lot of very interesting things.
Thank you.
And been overseas doing business, and then you do a very interesting show. Let's mention that and plug that. It's on Sundays.
Sundays.
At noon.
Yes.
Right, on the AM radio dial. Now, I haven't talked to a lot of people recently that are referring to AM radio, but it's actually quite alive and well with a fairly loyal listening audience, don't you think?
The mighty 1290. I hope you'll all listen in this Sunday when you're not busy with the Super Bowl a little bit later. So.
Yeah, that's right. Competing with the Super Bowl, that's a tough deal.
We're going to have a tough time with market share there, but Lynn was my guest host a couple of weeks ago when I was in California and did a fabulous job. I think we ought to give him a round of applause for his versatility.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. That's what's fun. I love that's. There's nothing more fun. Well, Clinton, you know, tell me a little bit about your brief career, especially the international side of it, your lengthy career, really. But tell me, what's the slant there, and what's your experience in that context?
Well, I'd like to commend you for the previous guests that have been on. I'd like to talk about another word, which I would say came to me a second ago, which is integration. And it's integration of a lot of the things our first three guests have talked about.
We have some synthesis here.
We do. Bruce talked about culture as being a key part of the whole situation. Obviously, Prashid is way ahead of where I'm at. I signed up for Facebook recently and have no idea what to do with my friends.
We're all out there listening, by the way.
Yeah.
Ready to give you the thumbs up, you know.
I have 7,000 friends. I actually know 13 of them, so I feel like that's a pretty good
That's
thing.
right. That happens.
And then Beverly talked about the importance of ethics and how to infuse that into our discussions. And, in the international arena, that's even probably more important, Lynn, than perhaps domestically.
Oh, what a great segue. The integrity is the precursor to a good international relationship.
Yes, two authors that you can look at. There are many, of course, but Stephen Covey talks about the importance of looking at the end game first, the ultimates. And, you know, I think that's a very important thing, a shared vision of where you're going with your partners. And all I can tell you is I got into the international game about 20 plus years ago in 1993.
Okay.
Done business in about 47 different countries throughout the world. It has informed and changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine. And I would actively encourage all of you to really look at that as a serious career possibility, knowing there are some downsides to it as well and a lot to know. Many more factors than a domestic business in many respects.
Can I ask you this question? I mean, obviously there's the issue with regulations and travel and the interface, the procedures or protocol, all that stuff. We read about that.
Yes.
But what's your at the personal level when you're interfacing from somebody, you know, in Britain, in the UK, or if you're in China or whatever? What do you say to yourself internally about how to relate to these people and what are they thinking? And I want to be deferential to them or not.
Yes. Well, I think that we hear so much about culture and about how we should be cognizant of the various traditions and rituals that take place. For the Japanese business card situation.
Right.
What the meaning of the word yes is, and that meaning varies in virtually every country you're in. Sometimes yes means no, okay? It's kind of a cliche, but it's true. In Hungary, yes maybe means no. In China, often yes means we'll think about it. Okay, in Germany, no means no and yes means yes, typically.
They're black and white thinkers.
In France, I'm not sure. So, but I will say that we have
Lots
more,
of nuance in the French culture.
Paris is a little different, but you know, I love the place. Although if I were there, I'd probably be moving to Belgium right now.
Because of the tax situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other author I study, Lynn, is a guy by the name of Jim Collins, who wrote the book Build to Last and Good to Great. And if you had to read one business book, Good to Great would be the book I'd read. And he talks about the importance of people. And they drive the bus. And you can take whatever business you want if you have the right people. Maybe Homer's had the right people 30 years ago.
Right. On the seats, in the bus.
On the scenes, in the bus. You can take that bus anywhere and make it work. If you're not with the right group of people on the right bus, you're not going to get where you want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of intuition in that. You have to trust yourself on that.
Yeah.
You also have to do what Reagan used to say in the old days when I was around him. And
I knew there was going to be a political reference here.
Trust, well, it's somewhat nostalgic now to look back on Ronald Reagan. I think you'd all probably agree with me on that, no matter what your political sightings are. But he used to say in negotiations with the Russians that you trust but verify. I did a lot of not doing that. I can tell you my mistakes. I've made them on about 4 continents now.
So you're too trustworthy is what you were having. Or naive, is that what you're saying?
And we talk about communication.
Or just lazy insofar as getting your preparatory due
Definitely
diligence.
lazy, no doubt about that. But I made mistakes that have cost a lot of money, and I can take it beyond the theoretical with you here. And I can talk about 3 or 4 different cases that cost me a fortune, literally.
Wow.
Just based on words being different.
Okay.
Or understandings, Lynn, of what somebody means versus what they say versus how we filter it as Americans.
Okay.
We're much more alike people than around the world than we are different.
Yeah.
But there are differences.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Quick example, I don't know how much more time we've got, but years ago, when I was in Budapest, Hungary, with a company called Eurowest, which we founded in 1993, we were selling Michael Jordan T-shirts and basketball shoes and different things throughout Eastern Europe.
Let me get this straight. You were selling Michael Jordan basketball shoes in Budapest. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct.
All right, keep going, and then we'll this is the highlight of the interview for me. I don't know.
Anything with
And
Michael
we haven't
Jordan.
even hit the punchline
No,
yet.
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. The NBA is big internationally, as you all know. This is pre-Kobe days. And then anything with New York Yankees or Dallas Cowboys did pretty well.
I hear they do well in Tibet, by the way.
They may very well. I haven't studied there, so I don't know. But bottom line on it was we got the chairman of a company called Nutmeg, which was owned by Farah, the Farah Slacks, Farah Fabrics, to fly to Budapest at his expense to do a trunk show in Budapest with the top retailers in Eastern Europe.
Wow.
You must know the dates and the culture well enough to know what their holidays are that might not be evident. Well, not Christmas, Easter, etc. The weekend I brought this guy in happened to be a weekend when everybody in Budapest, Bucharest, Prague went to their dachas at Lake Balaton in southern Hungary for the weekend. I did not have the decision makers there. I had all the middle level people.
They were all vacationing.
They were all vacationing.
Wow.
So I knew this guy was going to be extremely upset. I went out and hired the best looking male and female models in Budapest I could find.
Oh, yeah. See, now you're being innovative and entrepreneurial.
To model.
Not sure there's a lot of ethical underpinnings there.
We were trying to put our best foot
it's
forward.
relative, right?
It is relative, and it's a matter of marketing promotion.
Yes, yes.
But the bottom line on that is that because they weren't there, they couldn't make the decision, and I had agreed to purchase $75,000 worth of T-shirts.
Yes, right.
Which I had to pay for, okay? And then resell, which is not the way you want to do it if you can avoid it.
At least on the international level.
At least on the international level.
All right. Clint Bellows, thank you so much, my friend. Good to see you. And by the way, we're all going to make a special effort to watch your show. It's a very interesting show on Sundays on the Mighty 1290. For 1 hour, you interview an eclectic assortment of people. You talk about everything from politics and international culture to who's going to win the football game that day. It's been a pleasure to be part of that with you
pleasure,
as
Lynn.
well. Clint
Thank you
Bellows,
very
ladies and
much.
gentlemen. International businessman. Fabulous insights. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with our second show on WOWBIZ Weekly. I'm Lynn Hinderaker, and thanks for joining us right here at Creighton University.